Hey, everybody, hope you're well. This is a short live stream given the lateness of the hour, but it's related to information I just received and the fact that there have been a lot of protests, as you know, 'cause you've probably been watching them. And I hope that you and your family are safe, not only uh, as we deal with this virus issue, but also this protest issue um, and this economic issue. There are people who still have not received their stimulus checks. There's a lot of problems, a lot of stuff going on. But real quick, here is the skinny, folks, and it goes as they say. It goes like this, and the way it goes is quite simply. First of all, uh, the first information I'm about to explain to you and share with you comes from a trusted and reliable source that has never steered me wrong. And this is a person and a blog that is not afraid to share positive and negative news about Las Vegas and the business of Las Vegas. Scott Roberson of had a bet at one point or about what the best burger was in Vegas. I don't think I ever followed up with him on that because I think I actually quite get around to that. You know what? I have to reignite that. Okay. So Scott Roberson, he was the first to actually point to, on a consistent basis, the problem of Las Vegas visitor rates being that the hotel, that's right, the hotel daily resort fee was the real problem and not the Las Vegas shooting. I looked at, separate from any claims he made, the history of Las Vegas monthly visitation rates, and I found that starting in July of 2018, actually 2017, a whole year before the shooting, starting in July of 2017 was when Las Vegas visitor rates started going down. All right. And people says, oh, no, you're wrong. It was the unfortunate events of October 1st of 2018. As bad as that was, no, that wasn't it at all. That's not what happened. Okay. It wasn't that at all. It just, people just were getting gouged. Okay. Left and right. They were getting gouged. And there's still problems today. For example, with respect to being gouged. For example, and this also comes from the trusty, our trusty friend at Vital Vegas, or Scott. Basically, he's reporting that there's an internecine battle between casino restaurants and their landlords, the casinos, even though the restaurants have no chance of getting anywhere close to filling up their seats for a number of reasons that are noted for, social distancing. They're still being charged full rent on their space by the hungry to recover their lost revenue casino landlords. All right. So you quite possibly may see restaurants in casinos close down, not so much for, the coronavirus and the economics, although that's certainly the obvious contributing factor, but just simply the landlords not giving them a break and saying, hey, look, we know you need breathing room. You would think some of these landlords would turn around and say, we will help you get government assistance rather than just trying to strangle them, right? People. And they wonder why folks are angry today. You can only push people in a democracy so far before things start to. All right. Vital Vegas has reported news that you really should see. And basically, it is something that I believe he has this way of getting this information, right? That he has this way of getting information, and you think, God, where did that come from? How did he get that? How did he manage to come up with that, right? He has this genius way of doing that. This Scott, okay, and in this instance, that information is this right here. It says unreported, but workers at Allegiant Stadium testing up positive for coronavirus now rumored to number about 60. So we'll just say 60. 60. All right. That's as of May 31st. Now, previous reporting I made on this was on Friday because the Review Journal had said, oh, hey, 15 workers tested for the coronavirus. And basically the Review Journal bent over backward to separate out the 16 reported cases of coronavirus that came out 2 weeks prior to that, as if they were, well, we don't quite know about them, or they forgot, or, we weren't certain, or that was different, right? You add them together, it's 31. Okay, 31. Well, here comes Scott to basically shed the real light on the situation and tell us the real skinny. All right, and of course you have people who and now it's reported mainstream media, and Video Supermix. I love this person's response saying, "I hope they not need a hospitalization will be okay." Well, actually, he says the majority of cases have mild or no symptoms. Aren't over age 60, construction workers. But I remind Scott and a number of people that, look, simple fact of the matter is people have had the coronavirus as young as 17 and lost their lives, sadly. All right. So, and then of course, Jared Rich is talking about this. The photograph he has is a crane that it was first reported at Zenny 62 with a photograph that I did not run. All right. And I didn't run it because I wasn't trying to get Mortensen McCarthy in trouble. The workers the whistleblower workers giving me information were very concerned. All right. That, and Mortensen McCarthy was aware of the incident. So that's wrong. Okay. And so what he's reporting here is wrong. Mortensen McCarthy was very much aware of the incident, period in the story. But it was reported at Oakland News Now way back December 2nd. So whatever. Okay. And all right. So, and basically, January, so that's 60 families to give this to. Yep. And he says opposite, that's where people get the virus in close quarters, not construction sites. Well, I disagree because we're talking about a construction site where they got it. And now it opens the question, hey, look, when will the Raiders and the league in Clark County actually sanitize the stadium, right? That's what it points to. And basically, this one person rates a great response saying, blank, this should now be a criminal investigation. Interesting. This is another type of racism, sacrificing the health of these workers, mostly minorities, for the sake of meeting the rich whites' money goals. Absolutely right. I mean, I could not agree with this more. And okay, so then they say no one cares. We moved on the riots and anarchy, and they say the on-site testing seems to be working. Yeah, and then it says, but weren't they essential? It says, wait, which news crisis and whining hat should I have on today? Oh, brother. Okay. And, so anyway, you get these ridiculous, rather, responses and everything else. Okay. About this, and, difficult to find anything, but then of course it's Twitter where people come in here and, they don't use their real name among other things. All right. But there you go. All right. The bottom line is it was reported by Vital Vegas, all right, as happening and as a problem. 60, which increases the probability, you know what I'm going to say, that someone could get perilously sick. This is an outrage, all right? And it's more of an outrage to have this news have dust and dirt, covered over it by people who should be reporting this when it happens. This is awful. And yes, you have a good share minority, not the majority, but I think 26% getting sick from this stuff. But also, you have a stadium that needs to be, what I say, fumigated, sanitized before anybody in their right mind would set foot in it. Okay, because if they're there and they're getting sick and they've touched everything, then it means that you're there and you're going to touch something and you could get sick. Hey, Aaron, see how you're doing. All right, that's what that means. Okay, that's horrible. That is absolutely horrible state of affairs to have. Now, let me share you with the other information that I'm bringing up to you, and it has to do with Mr. Colin Kaepernick, because we're in the middle of, first of all, the NFL, in the form of Roger Goodell, of course, issued this statement, and not too long ago, a statement from NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell here, okay, and what he said. Let me try this again. I'm gonna have to go back and get it. Hold on a second. And what he said is not coming up as I want it to. All right. So I'm gonna try this another way. Okay. Boom. And that way. It's a matter of training the system, training it. Okay. So I'm going to wait a minute. I'm going to reload this page in 1 second. Okay, so here I am again. I'm basically reloading the information. There is the statement from NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell on Colin Kaepernick, where he states the NFL is greatly saddened by the tragic events across our country. Us feel our deepest condolences go out to the family of Mr. George Floyd and to those who have lost loved ones, including the families of Ms. Breonna Taylor in Louisville and Mr. Ahmaud Arbery, the cousin of Tracy Walker of the Detroit Lions. As current events dramatically underscore, there remains much more to do as a country and as a league. These tragedies inform the NFL's commitment and our ongoing efforts. There remains an urgent need for action. We recognize the power of our platform and communities and as part of the fabric of American society. We embrace that responsibility and are committed to continuing the important work to address these symptomatic issues together with our players, clubs, and partners, to which many people have said, well, hey, this is great, but you know what? You were the guy talking about the commissioner that didn't want Colin Kaepernick to play. Well, that's not true. And look, I've known Roger since 1996. He is the person charged with keeping the league together. And basically, running the NFL's commissioner is basically like herding 32 cats, okay? And that's exactly what Roger Goodell's job is, herding cats. He has a number of cats that have close ties to the current president of the United States. And as we have moved forward in the Trump administration in terms of time, their positions have held sway, particularly with respect to the anthem, as you know. All right. So Roger is basically towing the line of those persons who are hardcore supporters of President Trump as the commissioner. Okay. So it's not Roger. Roger's father, Charles Goodell, is noted as the only Republican to voted against the Vietnam War when it came to the Senate. He was a great senator in New York in the late 60s. And when I first met Roger, it was over the phone, actually, at the behest of the now former and late Oakland Raiders executive assistant, Alo Casal, who had dispatched me to help the Raiders bring back the 49er Raider preseason game after the Raiders returned to Oakland from Los Angeles. He said, I want you to meet this fellow. They're grooming him to be commissioner. His name is Roger Goodell. All right. I talked to Roger. We talked for a solid hour about his dad. My point is, this is not Roger. Okay. This is more Robert Kraft, Jerry Jones, and others who have solid, tight relationships with President Trump. That's where this is coming from. And so, in terms of Colin Kaepernick, now, within that group, there was a mention that said, wow, Sean, thank you very much for the investment. There was in stock coming. There was a mention of this, that Colin Kaepernick was bad for NFL business. Note, Colin Kaepernick was bad for NFL business, right? That's what that was. And keep this in mind about the statement. Again, Colin Kaepernick was said to be bad for NFL business, okay? So, all right, if Colin Kaepernick is so bad for NFL business, then why is it that, ta-da, he made $6 billion for Nike? Look at this headline. Colin Kaepernick pushes Nike's market value up $6 billion to an all-time high. All right. Are you listen? $6 billion. Okay. All right. I'll say it again. $6 billion. All right. Not $6 million like Lee Majors or Steve Austin, the $6 million man. No. $6 billion. Colin Kaepernick is the real $6 billion man. Colin Kaepernick made more from Nike. More for Nike, all right, than approximately double the value of many NFL teams at $3 billion. Look at that, okay? If the Raiders are currently worth, because the stadium is not open yet, not operational, $2.4 billion, then bam, he is made double what the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders are still worth at this point, all right? Anyone who would say, oh, he's bad for business, you probably should consider selling their NFL team, all right? If you cannot gain that. And you would say, well, how did that happen? Well, let's read through. It says, Kaepernick pushes Nike's market value up $6 billion to an all-time high. And then it reads, Colin Kaepernick's market value, I'll share this with you, like so, all right? Colin Kaepernick's market value has risen by Nike's market value has risen by $6 billion since its controversial decision to feature former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick in its new ad campaign. CBS News has established that report. Shares went up over 36% for the year, nearly 5% just since the ad's launch. Kaepernick is known for being the NFL's first player to take a knee during the national anthem back in 2016, kicking off a movement against racial inequality that's faced criticism from all walks of life, including the president, okay? So it asked me to subscribe for the rest, but I don't need to. We know the story, all right? $6 billion. We also know that if you type Colin Kaepernick, all right? You type Colin Kaepernick and jersey sales, he led he being Colin Kaepernick in jersey sales without even playing, all right? And as Fast Company reported a year later, what did we learn from Nike's Kaepernick ad, all right? And they said blockbuster, all right? And it said blind purpose requires sustained long-term commitment. Hear that, NFL? Commit to him, okay? And they said it started with a tweet. Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. Just do it. Remember that? Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. Just do it, okay? And it says it was divisive and yada, 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 all right? But 1 year later, it says basically that that Nike is no exception. They said poetic posturing aside, they said that it was just an ad, it was a damning legacy and yada, 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 all right? Here's the thing. It wasn't just an ad, all right? Here's the thing. They didn't have to put up a swoosh. And they all they had to do was put up Kaepernick. That was it. All they had to do was put up Colin Kaepernick, all right? Colin. Colin is a brand unto himself. If you can't make money off of the website sales that he brings, if you can't make money off of the eyeballs that he brings, if you can't make money off the fact that he can still play, if you can't make money off the fact that he is a positive role model in society, you know what? You have no business at all negotiating anything with Kaepernick and his team or owning an NFL football franchise, especially right now. Sell your franchise, sell it to me for $1. Hey, it's a cinch. I can make a ton of money, right? Okay. So Sean Motson says, do you think he was a good player? Yeah, he was. And Colin essentially played in the same offense in terms of design that Lamar Jackson plays in right now. Colin, I think the only knock on Colin wasn't really a knock on him. It was a knock on Greg Roman's offense. The same Greg Roman that's the offensive coordinator for the Ravens right now. Why do I say that? Because Greg Roman does not practice precision passing, okay? So the routes and the runs are a little bit rough-edged, okay? That problem was, if you will, exported to the Baltimore Ravens, but I digress. Do I think Colin can come back in? And I think really the question is, can he come back in and perform, to a top-notch level? I don't see why not. Okay, he hasn't lost a lot of gas in the tank, and if you put him with a strong defense and solid running game, right? Good receivers, great tight end tandem combination, you're good to go. All right. Sound like a familiar mix for a championship team? I think so. I think so too. But then also it's Colin. Can you imagine the kind of excitement he will generate just coming out of the tunnel? It will not be boos. People will cheer. There will be people who want to get SRO, standing room only tickets. Teams will have to make special room, standing room only, for fans to be able to get that kind of ticket just to see him on the field. That is how valuable Kaepernick is to the NFL and to sport and to American society. Again, you haven't figured that out? Sell the team. All right, folks. More on this tomorrow. Sean, thank you. Subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube. Bookmark Oakland News Now. And by the way, hey, John LeCollin, Sean, please email me at zenny62.com. So I'll have your email address so I can get your stock to you, because I need to get that out of the way yesterday. All right. Thank you. Okay, see you.